third video, which I will read the part 2 of our first stories of our subjects. Yeah, the first story is the necklace. Now let's start the necklace part 2. Please read after me and listen to my pronunciation carefully. Let's start. At last, she replied with some hesitation. I don't know exactly. What I think I could do it on 400 francs. He grew slightly pale, for this was exactly the amount he had been saving for a gun, intending to get a little shooting next summer on the plan of Nanterre with some friends who went luck shooting there on Sundays. Nevertheless, he said, "Very well, I'll give you 400 francs, but try and get a really nice dress with the money." The day of the party drew near. The Madame Loisel seemed sad, uneasy, and anxious. Her dress was ready, however. One evening, her husband said to her, "What's the matter with you? You've been very odd for the last 3 days." "I'm utterly miserable at not having any jewels, not a single stone to wear," she replied. "I shall look absolutely no one. I would almost rather not go to the party." "Wear flowers," he said. "They're very smart at this time of the year. For 10 francs, you could get 2 or 3 gorgeous roses." She was not convinced. "No, they are nothing so humiliating as looking poor in the middle of a lot of rich women." "How stupid you are!" exclaimed her husband. "Go and see Madame Forestier and ask her to lend you some jewels. You know her quite well enough for that." She uttered a cry of delight. "That's true. I never thought of it." Next day, she went to see her friend and told her her trouble. Madame Forestier went to dressing table, looked up a large box, brought it to Madame Loisel, opened it, and said, "Choose, my dear." First she saw some bracelets, then a pearl necklace, then a Venetian cross in gold and gems of exquisite workmanship. She tried the effect of the jewels before the mirror, hesitating, unable to make up her mind to leave them, to give them up. She kept on asking, "Haven't you anything else?" "Yes, look for yourself. I don't know what you would like best." Suddenly, she discovers in a black satin case a superb diamond necklace. Her heart began to beat convulsively. Her hands trembled as she lifted it. She fastened it around her neck, upon her high dress, and remained in ecstasy at sight of herself. Then, with hesitation, she asked in anguish, "Could you lend me this, just this alone?" "Yes, of course." She flung herself on her friend's breast, embraced her friends frenziedly, and went away with her treasure. The day of the party arrived. Madame Loisel was a success. She was the prettiest woman present, elegant, graceful, smiling, and quite about herself with happiness. All the men stared at her, inquired her name, and asked to be introduced to her. All the under secretaries of state were eager to waltz with her. The minister noticed her. She danced madly, ecstatically, drank with pleasure, with no thought for anything. In the triumph of her beauty, in the pride of her success, in a cloud of happiness made up of this universal homage and admiration of the desires she had aroused, of the completeness of a victory so dear to her feminine heart. She left about 4 o'clock in the morning. Since midnight, her husband had been dozing in a deserted little room, in company with 3 other men, whose wives were having a good time. He drew over her shoulder the garment he had brought for them to go home in, modest everyday clothes, whose poverty clashed with the beauty of the ball dress. She was conscious of this and was anxious to hurry away, so that she should not be noticed by the other women putting on their costly furs. Loisel restrained her. "Wait a little. You catch cold in the open. I'm going to fetch the cab." But she did not listen to him, and repeatedly descended the staircase. When they were out in the street, they could not find a cab. They began to look for one, shouting at the drivers whom they saw passing in the distance. They walked down towards the sand, desperate and shivering. At last they found on the quay one of those all-night prowling carriages which are not to be seen in Paris after dark. Though they were ashamed of their shabbiness in the daylight, it brought them to their door, and the rudest marines, and sadly they walked up to their own apartment. It was the end for her. As for him, he was thinking that he must be at the office at 10. She took off the garments in which she had wrapped her shoulder so as to see herself in all her glory before the mirror. But suddenly she uttered a cry. The necklace was no longer round her neck. "What's the matter with you?" asked her husband, already half undressed. She turned toward him in the utmost distress. I have no longer got Madame Forestier's necklace." He started with astonishment. "What? Impossible!" They searched in the folds of her dress, in the folds of the coat, in the pockets, everywhere. They could not find it. "Are you sure that you still had it on when you came away from the ball?" he asked. "Yes, I touched it in the hall at the ministry. But if you had lost it in the street, we should have heard it fall." "Yes, probably we should." "Did you take the number of the cab?" "No." "You didn't notice it, did you?" "No." They stared at one another, dumbfounded. At least Loisel put on his clothes again. "I'll go over all the ground we walked," he said, "and see if I can't find it." And he went out. She remained in her evening clothes, lacking strength to get into bed, huddled on a chair without volition or power of thought. Her husband returned about 7. He had found nothing. He went to the police station, to the newspapers, to offer a reward to the cab companies. Everywhere that a ray of hope impelled him. She waited all day long in the same state of bewilderment At his fearful catastrophe, Logel came home at night, his face lined and pale. He had discovered nothing. "You must write to your friends," he said, "and tell her that you've broken the clasp of her necklace and are getting it mended. That will give us time to look about us." She wrote at his dictation. By the end of a week, they had lost all hope. Logel, who had aged 5 years, declared, "We must see about replacing the diamonds." Next day, they took the box which had held the necklace and went to the jeweler's, whose name was inside. He consulted his books. "It was not I who sold this necklace, madame. I must have merely supplied the clasp." Then they went from jeweler to jeweler, searching for another necklace like the first, consulting their memories, both ill with remorse and anguish of mind. In a shop at the Palais Royal, they found a string of diamonds which seems to them exactly like the one they were looking for. Each worth 40,000 francs. They were allowed to have it for 36,000. They begged the jeweler not to sell it for 3 days, and they arranged matters on the understanding that it would be taken back for 34,000 francs if the first one were found before the end of February. Logel possessed 18,000 francs left to him by his father. He intended to borrow the rest. He did borrow it, getting 1,000 from one man, 5,500 from another, 5 weeks here, 3 weeks there, and he gave notes of hand into two ruinous agreements. Did business fit usurers, and the whole tribe of money lender. He mortgaged the whole remaining years of his existence. Risk he nature without even knowing if he could honor it, and appalled at the agonizing face of the futures, at the black misery about to fall upon him, at the prospects of every possible physical privation and moral torture. He went to get the new necklace and put down upon the jeweler's counter 36,000 francs. When Madame Logel took back the necklace Madame Forestier. The latter said to her in a chilly voice, "You ought to have brought it back sooner. I might have needed it." She did not, as her friends had feared, open the case. If she had noticed the substitutions, what would she have thought? What would she have said? Would she not have taken her for a shift? Mademoiselle came to know the ghastly life of abject poverty. From every first, she played her part heroically. This fearful debt must be paid up. She will pay it. The servants first dismissed. They changed their flat. They took a garret under the roof. She came to know the heavy work of the house, the hatful duties of the kitchen. She washed the plates, wearing out her fingernails on the coals, pottery, and the bottoms of pans. She washed the dirty linen, the shirts and dishcloths, and hung them out to dry on string. Every morning she took the dustbin down into the street and carried up the water, stopping on each landing to get her breath, and clad like a poor woman, she went to the fruiterer, to the grocer, to the butcher, and basket on her arm, haggling, insulted, fighting for every fresh penny of her money. Every month, notes that had to be paid off. Other renewed time gain. Her husband worked in the evening at putting straight a merchant's account, and often at night he did copying at 2 pence halfpenny a page, and this life lasted 10 years. At the end of 10 years, everything was paid off. Everything. The usurer charges, the accumulation of superimposed interest. Mademoiselle looked old now. She had become like all the other strong, hard-course women of poor households. Her hair was badly done. Her skirts were awry. Her hands were red. She spoke in a shrill voice, and the water slopped all over the floor when she scrubbed it. But sometimes, when her husband was at office, She sat down by the window and thought of that evening long ago, of the ball at which she had been so beautiful and so much admired. What would have happened if she had never lost those jewels? Who knows? Who knows how strange life is? How fickle, how fickle. How little is needed to root in or to save. One Sunday, as she had gone for a walk along the Champs-Elysees to freshen herself after the labors of the week, she caught sight suddenly of a woman who was taking a child out for a walk. It was Madame Forestier, still young, so beautiful, still attractive. Madame Rogel was conscious of some emotion. Should she speak to her? Yes, certainly. And now that she had pet, she would tell her all. Why not? She went up to her. Good morning, Jane. The other did not recognize her and was surprised at being thus familiarly addressed by a poor woman. But, Madame, she stammered. I don't know. You must be making a mistake. No, I am Mathieu Rogel. Her friend uttered a cry. Oh, my poor Mathieu. How you have changed. Yes, I've had some hard times since I saw you last, and many sorrows. And all on your account. On my account? How was that? You remember that the diamond necklace you lent me for the ball at the ministry? Yes, well, I lost it. How could you? Why, you brought it back. I brought you another one just like it. And for the last 10 years, we have been paying for it. You realized it wasn't easy for us. We had no money. Well, it's bad for a last, and I'm glad indeed. Madame Forestier had halted. You say you brought a diamond necklace to replace mine? Yes. You hadn't noticed it? They were very much alike. And she smiled in proud and innocent happiness. Madame Forestier, deeply moved, took her two hands. Oh, my poor Mahil, but my was imitation. It was worth at the very most 500 francs. Okay, this is the end of the story. Necklace. Okay, now I finish, and after this you all have to read, follow me, and then try to understand these stories. After the story, I will have some question for you to do all. Okay, thank you so much for your listening to these video clips and watching.